The Fantastic Journey will not be presented this evening, but will return next week at its regular time.
NBC Sports presents the Bruins of UCLA against the Bengals of Idaho State from Provo, Utah. This 1977 NCAA Western Regional Semifinal game is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury, who invite you to inspect one of America's outstanding collections of fine cars now at your Lincoln Mercury dealer. By Allstate Insurance Company, you're in good hands with Allstate. By the Gillette Track 2 shaving system, the closest thing to a perfect shave. And by Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. Since 1844, the quality has always come through. And hello to you, I'm Jim Simpson. Along with Tom Hawkins in Provo, Utah, we've seen an outstanding ball game in which, well, it was a one-point ball game until about the last minute. Nevada, Las Vegas has defeated in the Western semifinals here the University of Utah, a scrapping team, 88-83. But that's past history.
That's gone.
Nevada, Las Vegas goes on to Saturday, but now we come to what's about to come up. Both teams are 24-4, and Tom, everybody knows about UCLA. After all, they've won 8 of the last 10 of the last 13 NCAA titles. But a lot of people may not know that Idaho State has been in 10 NCAA championships itself.
That's
but
right.
the question they want to know, and I'm going to give you a chance in a minute.
Okay.
The question they want to know is, can Idaho State beat UCLA?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Idaho State has a center that we're going to see in a couple of minutes. He's a 7-footer, and he is a great one. The records are identical. Here they are, 24-4. And these teams, of course, we don't know about Idaho State. They play the Big Sky Conference. What do we know about the Big Sky? But they're an effective team. They're a good shooting team. They just mauled Long Beach State on the boards, pulling down 64 rebounds. So their inside game will give UCLA a lot of trouble, and that's where UCLA has problems.
Now I'm smiling because there's one fellow, when you say the Big Sky Conference, a man that's way up in the sky is Steve Hayes, and you mentioned him. He is 7 feet tall. He's got to be a key tonight.
He's got to be a key, and here he is. 7 feet tall. He averages 20 points a game, 11 rebounders. He's great at that turnaround jump shot. Look at him. He has great leaping ability. He is not a stiff. He goes out there. He does his job. And they say he might be the best that the Big Sky has ever seen in the center position.
But there's another man that you mentioned on the same ball club, but you said has to have a good night tonight, and his name is Jeff Cook.
Yes, that's right. Jeff Cook is a 6'9" forward. Great rebounder, very aggressive. If he can play and play tough and go on the boards and give Hayes the help that he needs, UCLA will have their hands full with a very tough Idaho State front line.
All right, here we come to the Bruins of UCLA. Everybody knows all about them and the fact that they've got a great chance to win yet another. And everybody knows about big number 54, everybody's player of the year, Marcus Johnson. Marcus
averages 21 points a game, and he is Mr. Dunk. He has 61 slam dunks on the year. Look at him. There he goes, up and over, pulls him down. Great rebounder, 11 a game. He does everything. But he has to go for the Bruins to go. If he gets into foul trouble, Idaho State has a beautiful chance.
Well, of course, UCLA proved that it had a little depth. Everybody's known that, even though UCLA is such a young team. And it was Brad Holland that gave them that depth against Louisville in the first round of the NCAA. And we've been telling you that 88-83, Nevada, Las Vegas knocked off the University of Utah to go against the winner of tonight's game Saturday afternoon. Jerry Tarkanian, trying to contain himself and his voice, will be the guest of Tom Hawkins when we come back to Provo, Utah. But right now we're going to pause from our coverage here of the Western Regional Semifinals in Provo, Utah.
Coca's life, it's got the taste and the feeling you like. Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. Come on, girl, gotta share a Coke with you. Let the feeling show through. You wanna live a little bit more. That's what the taste of Coke is for. flair so debonair, with a touch of class.
Sometimes I think driving a Mercury Monarch is like wearing beautiful clothes. And this is Monarch's label, ride engineered by Lincoln Mercury. I feel confident in Monarch, even practical, with a quick, easy shifting of its 4-speed overdrive. Yet very elegant. The precision size Mercury Monarch.
With a touch of class.
Meow.
Beat me 3 times in the final.
Welcome back. And the winner of the first game here at Brigham Young University was Nevada, Las Vegas, 88-83 over Utah. And Jerry Tarkanian, head coach of the Rebels, congratulations.
Thank you, Tom. It was a real hard-earned victory, believe me.
It wasn't a classic victory, and the people didn't see it, but I would have to say that your team really struggled to pull this one out. And it wasn't the team that we saw against San Francisco.
I'll tell you, Tom, it's very difficult for us to come up here in this altitude and play the style of play we like to play. The ideal conditions would have been if we'd have played UCLA first and Idaho State and Utah would have played first, because by Saturday, I think, both teams will have a chance to get used to the altitude. But it was very difficult for us, believe me.
And you talk about altitude. Here in Provo, Utah, it's a little bit over 4,600 feet, and it does affect the players. Your players were gasping out there. You have a very interesting team. You're the leading scoring team in the nation, averaging 108.6 a game. And you say that you predicate this on defense. Defense gives you your point. How?
Well, our defense dictates the tempo, Tom. We want to play as fast as we can play for 40 minutes. That's our theory, and that's what we try to sell our kids on. And we're going to play full speed for 40 minutes. There'll be no transition in our game. Everything is full speed. And the only way you can play full speed is if you pressure defensively. You can't play a zone and dictate the tempo.
Now, this game coming up here, UCLA and Idaho State, I don't know how much you've seen of Idaho State, but do you have a favorite?
Well, UCLA is a great team. I've seen them when they look like the best team in the country, and I've seen them other times when they haven't looked quite as good. But, UCLA is a great ball club, and I'm sure they're the favorite. But Jim Killingsworth's a great coach. He and I are real good friends. We coach against each other in junior college, and I think the killer will give UCLA a real battle today.
Jerry, be honest with me. There must be a little vengeance in your heart because UCLA has knocked you out of this NCAA tournament 3 times.
Well, I tell you the truth, I would sure like to beat them one time, Tom. We've had a lot of opportunities. They're tough. They're a great ball club. They got great tradition. They got everything it takes. And it's just like Jim Killingsworth and I were talking today. Whoever beats them makes history. Whoever knocks them out of Western Regional makes history.
And you're out to make history. Should it happen on Saturday, or should that be the team that you face?
Well, we sure hope so. But if for us to beat UCLA, we'd have to play our best game of the year.
Jerry, you and your team have been criticized. A lot of people have said, anytime Nevada, Las Vegas gets into the tournament, the team is a bit suspect. That must burn you. It must make you a little angry.
Well, that's not true at all, because 2 years ago we got in the regionals. We played Arizona State, which was one of the top teams in the country. They beat us in the last 6 seconds. Last year, Arizona beat us in overtime. We had the shot at the buzzer that didn't go in. I think we played real well in the regionals. It's just when you get there, it's tough. It's tough. Every team you play is good.
You're the winningest active major college coach in college basketball. Now, is there any particular pattern? Is there a Jerry Tarkanian style that we can discuss?
No, not at all, Tom. Not at all.
You seem to get players that other people aren't able to get. A lot of people wonder how you get them and how you put them together. But you are there. You are winning every year, year in and year out.
We haven't recruited in 4 years, really, Tom. We've got the kids who came with us 4 years ago, and in addition to that, we have Tony Smith and Reggie Theus and Larry Moffitt, a junior college transfer. The rest of the kids all came when we did 4 years ago. We haven't recruited at all in 4 years, really.
When this tournament started, Jerry Tarkanian, I said with the 32 teams, out of the 32, there were possibly 15 to 18 who could go all the way. Do you still feel that way?
Well, I figured it'd be anywhere from 20 to 25, and I haven't seen the scores today, but I wasn't surprised with too many in the first round. I was surprised at our score, and I was surprised that Syracuse beat Tennessee, but most of them I weren't too surprised at.
All right, now this game and adjusting to the altitude, if you got it out of your system, can we expect a better game, a better performance from your team, though you won this evening?
I'll tell you, Tom, we beat a very good team today in their own backyard. Utah went through that WAC conference this year, losing 3 games, and you know, when you go on the road in the WAC, that's as tough a conference in the country on the road. They lost to Wyoming by 4, to Arizona by 2, and New Mexico by 1 on the road. They haven't been blown out by anybody. I'm real thrilled we beat them by 5 points.
Well, whoever, Jerry Tarkanian, the folks will be seeing you on Saturday from Brigham Young University here in Provo, Utah, in the West Regional Finals of the NCAA. Jerry Tarkanian and his Las Vegas Rebels defeated Utah 88-83. Jerry, congratulations, and enjoy this next game.
Thanks, Tom.
Nice to have you with us. Let's go back to Jim Simpson.
All right, Tom, we were talking about some of those other games. In the Midwest Regionals tonight, Marquette won a squeaker by a single point over Kansas State. The Mid-East Regional is all over. Michigan had a tough time with Detroit, but beat them. And UNC clobbered Syracuse 81-59. Now that is UNC at Charlotte, North Carolina at Charlotte. So in the Mid-East Regionals on Saturday, it will be Michigan against the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. In the Western Regional, of course, you've heard that Utah was beaten by Nevada and Las Vegas, and we've got Idaho State, UCLA coming up. The Eastern Regional is all over. As far as the semifinals are concerned, Kentucky waltzed by VMI 93-78. And then North Carolina, down by 10 points at the half to Notre Dame on St. Patrick's Day of all days, came back to knock off the Fighting Irish in the last couple of seconds by the score of 79-77. Still to be played, as we said, our game here that you're about to see, and the Wake Forest Southern Illinois game, a part of the Midwest Regionals at Oklahoma City. Other than that, it is all over. We're about to watch 2 ball games here, or rather 2 teams here in a ball game, each one of which has won 24 and lost 4. And, of course, UCLA is one of the favorites to go on to the Omni down in Atlanta, Georgia, for the semifinals on Saturday the 26th and perhaps the finals on Monday night the 28th, which you will see here on NBC. But right now, they've got to get by Idaho State. Clarence Robeson is our public address announcer in Provo, so let's join him for the player intros.
The NCAA semifinal game. Let's meet the starting lineups. The Bengals of Idaho State and the Bruins of UCLA. First from Idaho State, number 32 at forward, 6'10" junior from West Waukegan, California, Jeff Cook. Number 54 at forward, 6'7" senior from Los Angeles, Marcus Johnson. From Idaho State, number 30 at forward, 6'7" senior from Cleveland, Ohio, Greg Griffin. From UCLA, number 34 at forward, 6'9", sophomore from Los Angeles, California, David Greenwood. From Idaho State, number 33 at center, 7 feet 1/2 inch senior from Aberdeen, Idaho, Steve Hayes. From UCLA, number 31 at center, 6'9" freshman from Redondo Beach, California, Gig Sims. From Idaho State, number 14 at guard, 6'3" senior from Santa Barbara, California, Ed Thompson. From UCLA, number 24 at guard, 6'2" sophomore from Los Angeles, Roy Hamilton. From Idaho State, number 21 at guard, 6'5" sophomore from Pocatello, Idaho, Scott Gould. From UCLA, number 44 at guard, 5'11" senior from Palos Verdes, California, Jim Spillane. Coaches of these 2 teams from Idaho State, Jim Killingsworth, and from UCLA, Gene Bartow.
There's our lineups, and of course we're going to have this semifinal game between UCLA and Idaho State in just a moment here from Provo, Utah. But right now, let's return to our studios for this message.
Pabst Blue Ribbon wouldn't dare challenge anyone to take on the raging Colorado in a wooden boat. But we do challenge you to discover a better tasting premium beer. Taste and compare Pabst with the beer you're now drinking. We know you'll taste the difference Blue Ribbon quality makes. Pabst, since 1844, the quality has always come through.
Hey, I know I need life insurance, but I don't want to be cornered by a salesman.
You won't feel cornered at Allstate because there's a difference in the Allstate approach to life insurance. When you come to us, you're in control. If you don't like what you hear, you can walk away.
Honey, Sean is missing.
Sean?
Sean? Sean?
Sean!
Your beneficiary?
Oh, thanks a lot.
When it takes being different to be better, we'll do it. That's a promise.
I am good hands with Allstate.